when Ray and I got out of the horse cavalry, basically you had to opt into the system with VA.
Right.
And I think this is a far better way to make sure that as part of your discharge, you have to go through and sign up and enroll with the VA. I think that's critically important because, as we all know, when we're 20 or 21 after our first enlistment, we can't get off the base fast enough. And to go through that final physical and everything, it was sort of like, no, I'm fine. I just want to, get off the base. And I think this is critically important.
Yeah, we're really excited about the partnership. It's going to be great.
Yeah, especially nowadays, you figure they had the Gulf War. They had the Gulf War syndrome,
Right.
and then of course they look how long it took for Agent Orange for Vietnam.
Yes.
And then there's a lot of things going on right now that we don't know. The guys from Afghanistan and some of the people from Iraq, they may not have any symptoms now, but 10 years from now they may develop them, and they're in the system. Then it's a lot easier to have that paper trail, as I would call it.
Ray, that's a really good point. It seems like each one of our wars has a signature injury. Like you say, Vietnam had Agent Orange. Well, this war, it's a traumatic brain injury.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of times they get what's called a closed head injury, which means they didn't take shrapnel or anything to their head. There was no physical evidence that there was any injury, but yet some of these IUDs, the blast will shake your brain up. It's kind of like getting a concussion in football or something.
Right.
And a lot of times, you're right, they don't have symptoms for 2-3 years, and it's important for them to recognize that and to utilize the VA. What's good about the VA is that we specialize in veterans. And veterans have special needs. TBI, PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome. So we are better equipped and staffed to treat those types of injuries and afflictions than a hospital in the community. So we encourage veterans to come use us.
Yeah. With this war, we've had so many amputees. How does the VA involved in any of the therapeutic or the of helping these guys?
Yes, yes, we do. We do some research in that area with the new limbs now with the advanced technology and the small chips. They can kind of motorize. It's not a motor, but they can use these new limbs are easier to use, and so we do some research there. Part of some of the construction we're doing at Baltimore is we're going to double our prosthetic space, because you're right. When this hospital was built 18 years ago, we sized the prosthetic department, for what the needs were then. The needs have now evolved and expanded, and there's more people with these types of injuries. So we really need space. So we're doing a project in our lobby that is going to add 5 floors to our building. And one of those floors will be a new prosthetics center for our veterans. And so we're really happy about that. Baltimore doesn't have any land, and they didn't build the building so we could add a floor to it. So we have 2 atriums, which, you go in the atrium, it's lovely, but you look up, look at all this wasted space. So we decided to build a building in a building. And so that project, 2, 3, and 4 will open up in December, and 5 and 6 will open up probably in April. So we're excited about that. New women's clinic, new prosthetics, so services are expanding.
Yeah. A lot of times, when the gentlemen are on active duty, when this eventually happens, but then they're discharged,
Right.
and then it becomes the VA's situation.
Right.
Once they're discharged, the active duty doesn't do it anymore, and then that's where the VA would really come in and really help these men and women out.
Yeah. So we do what we call robotics research, and that's the robotics limbs I was talking about. So we're excited about that.
And you have an outreach program for returning veterans, too.
Yes. There's a new program for veterans that are just for veterans, combat veterans, since 9/11. It's called the Caregiver Program. It's brand new. We're just getting it off the ground. But what it does for our veterans' families, if a family member or someone provides services to you, this new legislation allows us to provide stipends for those people, helps us train the family members so that they can provide the care for you. It also provides for travel costs. If you have to go with a veteran to a VA hospital and stay overnight, for example, it would cover a hotel and per diem. So this caregiver legislation is really great new legislation which provides resources to the caregiver.
I think that's great because a lot of times you just want to get out of the facility. You want to go home, okay? And the spouse is there, willing and able, but unfortunately doesn't have the tools necessarily available to provide the care. And this is more the type of effort that I think is extremely positive for our veterans. It's like the outpatient clinics. This is another step in the right direction, as opposed to the old way it used to be. You were in the hospital, that you got the care, and then goodbye.
Yeah, so we're really excited. You know, when a veteran gets injured, people know, obviously, that it affects the veteran who sustained those injuries, but it also impacts his family.
Absolutely.
His spouse or her, his spouse or her spouse, the children that they might have. And this caregiver legislation helps provide training and some stipend for the family members that then are providing this activities that they'll live in to the veterans. So it's really innovative and creative legislation. I'm glad we thought outside the box, we the VA thought outside the box to start thinking beyond the veteran, him or herself, and including the extended family.
So this is something that's not only available here in Maryland. This is a national program.
This is a national program. It's only for veterans, combat veterans, after 9/11. So you have to be a combat veteran. You had to serve after 9/11. So it's new legislation, just being implemented.
Yeah, this will be a two-part question. And to say, I know we're getting short on time here.
Okay.
Why should a veteran consider enrolling for services, and what are the advantages of enrolling? And maybe we can really end it up by just how important it is and the advantages of getting into the VA system.
Well, veterans should come to us for a couple of reasons, maybe three reasons. First of all, quality of care. I told you we were selected as a lung transplant program. That shows you what central office thinks about it. Also, we have clinical performance measures, which we do extremely well. We led division in the performance in our clinical performance measures, which also measures quality. So quality, and I told you also that we specialize in veterans. So the veterans should come to us because of quality. Also, they should come to us because of access. You know, they will not have to wait a long time to get in any of our clinics. Primary care, if you need a dermatology, any specialized clinic, urology, you can get in these clinics in less than 30 days. And I don't know what anybody's experience is in the private sector, but you try to get a specialized appointment, you might wait 2 or 3 months. So access is real important. And the other reason that you would want to use us is cost. Let's face it, we basically provide free care. Now some veterans, depending on your eligibility, may have to pay a copayment or something like that, but you can get your drugs, for example, for an $8 copayment. I have health insurance, and my copayment is like $15 or $20 for a drug. I can't remember what. But so $8 copayment for your drugs. So use us. You get high quality, you get good access, you get a facility that's familiar with veterans, and you get it at a very reasonable price. Could be nothing, depending on your eligibility.
Another thing about transportation, I know the DAV runs a really good transportation program at some of the hospitals where they provide transportation free for the patient. All they have to do is call the hospital service coordinator at either Baltimore, Perry Point, or Loch Raven, and they're provided transportation.
That's a very good point. So you can get free transportation, free medical care, a small copay for your drugs, and So it's a win-win for the veteran. And I can tell you, our staff has very high customer satisfaction scores. So we do very well. Our veterans are very satisfied with the quality and the type of care they get in our facility. We're real proud.
With the expanded care, I would assume that there's some employment opportunities too within the VA that some of our veterans can look into.
Yes, there would be. Budget's tight though,
I understand.
and we need to conserve and be as efficient as we can. So we've done a lot with our budget, cutting overtime out and things like that. We don't have a freeze on hiring, but we're not expanding our employment. We're keeping our employment steady. So when somebody leaves, we replace them. We're not adding new positions to the facility.
In Prince George's County, we have the largest veterans population in Maryland. And oftentimes people were wondering about the possibility of an outpatient clinic maybe someplace in Prince George's County. Now, obviously, there's one in Fort Meade that's going in, but for Prince George's County, we're not exactly sure what the situation might be.
Prince George's County is serviced by Washington, D.C., and they have a number of clinics in the area. They have one in, I think, Andrews Air Force Base. They're opening one there. I think that's still in PG County. Mm-hmm. And they have a couple others, but I'm not all that familiar. Now, Fort Meade's still in Anne Arundel County, but,
right.
But it's like a mile from the line.
That's right.
So I think that a lot of people in that area from
mm-hmm.
PG County will start using Fort Meade for their services.
And I think that's, and it's just like some of the other facilities within the VA system. Some people just forget that there's Baltimore and there's other facilities available to them. They don't necessarily have to just go to the Washington VA.
Now,
No,
we have the
true.
Greenbelt VA clinic.
That's true. That's in PG County. Thank
Right,
you
that's
for bringing that up.
right down the road here, and a lot of people don't realize it's there. A lot of people in the Bowie do, but we try to get the word out about their Greenbelt clinic.
Right. And that's run by Washington. So they have Greenbelt, and they also have Andrews
Right.
that they're opening. I don't believe Andrews is open yet, but it's funded.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of construction down there now.
Yes.
So what do you foresee in the future as far as the VA is concerned here in Maryland?
Well, I see us continuing to improve our services to our veterans. We're doing a lot of construction inside our facilities to improve the patient rooms, the patient experience. We're going to be changing our food service so it's more customer friendly. We're working on a project now where we're hoping to have a menu so you can select what you want instead of being served whatever's being cooked that day. So we're excited about what we're doing. We also have a number of four-man rooms, or four-person, I shouldn't say more, four patient rooms. And we have a project where we're going to be converting all those four-person rooms, patient rooms, into 2 bedrooms. So we'll be increasing, not increasing our bed or decreasing our beds, but through a project, we'll reduce our 4 patient bedrooms to 2. So
This is really incredible because that's been a lot of good information to us, Dennis, and it's amazing how fast the 30 minutes goes by.
Yeah.
We certainly want to thank Mr. Dennis Smith, Director of the VA Healthcare System for Maryland, and we thank you for for viewing us, and we ask you now to get involved. Stop by the American Legion or the DAV. You, your family members, find out about these benefits that are available to you at no or sometimes very little cost. But it's up to you to get involved and get enrolled into the VA. And thanks for watching Veterans Forum. And we want to thank Tom as our director and primary cameraman.